Welcome back to the I Want to Save Money YouTube channel. I am Miss Amelia J, and this is my recap for November 25. Now, for all of the monthly recaps and the budgeting videos, I do like to use real numbers. If there's something I don't want to share with the public, I will basically just skip that particular budget or that particular recap video. For this recap video and the next couple, I'm just going to use percentages and not like the real numbers. And the next couple monthly recaps I do will probably not have a whole lot of detail. So this month was okay. November was about catching up on things. I got very behind in October, and then I kind of blew some fun money. So honestly, most of where I'm behind is pretty much my own fault. That being said, over the next couple of months, I'm not too worried about getting back where I need to be. And once that does happen in early 26, I am going to increase the minimum amount that I set aside to my savings every paycheck. And I will also start making additional payments of probably $100 a month. We'll see what I can do towards my Nissan car note, because paying that off early would be awesome. So first up, we have November rent, which came to 44%. So this was higher than what I normally pay for rent because it was late. So I had a $150 late fee, and then I have a $50 processing fee because when you're late, you can only pay by credit card, no longer the bank account. So there's an additional fee attached to that. Now, the next category I am a little bit disappointed by because the next category is eating out, which comes to 9%. Now, this came to $327.39. I'm pretty sure my max goal was $250. So I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for that one. I feel like I've been making strides, eating at home more, using groceries more. So I guess there were just a few times this month where I got a little bit thoughtless and didn't really think about where I was at. So that tells me that maybe I need to be checking in with YNAB more consistently. I pretty much look at it every 2 weeks, like a day before or the day of payday. And the only time I really look through my actual bank account is if I'm looking for something that might be wrong or a charge that I'm waiting to come through, something like that. So that tells me right there that there are a few things I can change about my current routines so that I can stay on top of that better, because that was not intentional. Next up is emergency fund, 7%. So I have $50 auto transferred to my savings account from every single paycheck. That's basically the minimum. So if there's anything left over from my paycheck that I don't really need, I will put it towards my savings as well. However, the reason that emergency fund is a little bit higher than it usually is because I was paying my emergency fund back for something. Next up is credit card 1 at 6%. That was a payment of $225.12. Next up is entertainment at 5%. This one surprises me. So the amount is $178.14. One is for a movie, the other is for a concert ticket. So I guess I didn't think of that as being part of November because I think I purchased it at like the last day of October, but it looks like it processed a couple days into November. So I was not expecting that amount to be part of this recap. Now, next up is hobbies, which comes at 4%. I've been talking a lot about Plum Paper Planner on my channel lately. I'm going to be doing some move-in videos. I've done some videos on various layout options that they have. So part of that was my 7x9 plum paper for 26. So I ordered an A5 planner for work. I ordered a 7x9 planner that I'll be using for YouTube planning and an A5 that I'll be using basically for general lifestyle. Now, this is a tough one for me because this is one that I feel like definitely could have been avoided as an expense. But I cut paper planning out of my life. I basically became addicted to it. So I really started getting into like the paper planning, especially in social media, in like 2015-ish, around. And it just gradually became a bigger and bigger problem. And it's not just the planners, it's the sticker books, and it's the accessories, and it's this type of marker, and this type of pen, and these types of layouts that use all these different kind of accessories. And then it's, well, I don't want to use the planners with the cheaper paper that are $15 at Walmart. I want the $35 planner, or the $50 planner, or the $60 planner. And it just spiraled out of control. And in 22, I purchased 2 or 3 Erin Condrens, plus a couple Erin Condren notebooks, I think 6 Happy planners, a couple of generic planners at Target, a cheap planner at Dollar. Like, it was out of control. So at the end of the year, I used like maybe 20% of the stuff I bought. And I was like, that's it. This has got to stop. Enough is enough. So for 3 years, I switched to digital planning, and I bounced around with a couple different things, a couple different programs and apps, and at the end of the day, I am behind on everything. I am a mess. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not motivated. I'm behind on everything. And I realized that I need to control what I'm doing with paper planning as far as not spending out the wazoo, but need a paper planner that I enjoy using. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me on top of things. So I do consider it to be worth the price if I have something that's going to work for me. It's really a matter of buying a bunch of stuff I'm not going to use that becomes the problem. So that's my opinion on paper planning. If digital planning works for you, that's a great way to save money. So I would recommend doing that. But I gave it 3 years and I can't do it anymore. Enough is enough. Okay, next up is credit card 3 at 4%. That was a payment of $125. Next up is fuel at 3%, which is a little bit low for me. That's $112.66. Unless I have like a road trip or way more errands than I normally do. I do think I put some fuel on a credit card, but it was only like $20. It wasn't a full fill up. So I am able to keep my fuel pretty low. Next up is groceries at 3%, $105.98. Now, one thing I do want to say about the groceries, for one thing, I am prioritizing groceries and eating at home much more. Part of that is to save money, but I also just feel that I'm eating a lot healthier when I'm eating at home and I'm more connected to what I'm putting into my body. So very proud of that expenditure, not just because I was within budget for both of the grocery trips, but I've been getting a lot more detailed and consistent and thoughtful about what I'm buying and why. So I know that money was well spent and it's not spent on stuff that's just going to be wasted, because waste has been a pretty significant problem with my grocery shopping. Next up is car maintenance at 3%, $99.92. Payment on credit card 2 comes to 2%. Internet is 2% and everything else is 1% or less. The only thing in those lower categories I want to highlight is the pet insurance, $51.46. I was paying $105 for 2 cats. Going into December, I'm actually going to be canceling both of those. I will probably restart the pet insurance in either March or April. I do think that pet insurance has value. I do think that it's absolutely worth it. But when you're behind on bills, I think that you also need to just kind of take a step back and be like, okay, if I need to cut spending somewhere, I've got to look at all my options. So not having the pet health insurance is only going to be for a couple of months. I think that's actually something important to maintain. So that's definitely not something that's going to be a long-term part of my monthly expenses. My cat suddenly started arguing in the other room as soon as I said I was cutting pet health insurance. So I think they have some strong opinions about that one. Their health insurance is coming back. It's just for a couple of months while I get caught up on a couple things. I do think that pet health insurance is a great thing for you to have if you're a pet owner. You never know when something's going to come up, and it can really help you with some unexpected vet expenses. So that is all I have for my November 2025 monthly recap. For December, I will be behind on a couple bills as well. By January or possibly mid-January, I should be 100% caught up on everything. I should also at that time be able to increase the auto transfer I'm putting into my savings from every paycheck. And around March is when I'm looking to start making those extra payments on my Nissan car note. So that is what I'm looking at, and I will see y'all in the next video.